make sure that we're rolling. All right, come on in and sit down.
What was your online learning experience like?
So it was definitely a journey. I had a lot of issues with it, and towards the end of it, I started figuring out like what I was gonna do and how I was gonna fix. I don't know, feeling isolated and stuff, but for the longest time it was just feeling like a constant loop of every day. What about you?
Yeah, I think that my online learning experience is the same. Like, I think you
Yeah.
had said earlier, like, you're a very social person.
Yeah.
I am the same way.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
go to school because I can interact with my teachers and with my friends.
Yeah.
Even if it's the person sitting next to you in class. Like,
Yeah.
those are the little things, or saying hi in the hallway.
Yeah.
That really got me. And so my online learning experiences, like, we did the school ones, I did the DMAC ones, but I did some cool ones that weren't school, and those are the
Oh.
best online learning experiences that I had.
Where'd you do those?
So I did like an online camp. It was a small group of students. It was 10 students. We did a week-long Zoom from like 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day.
Really?
But it was the most fun I had ever had.
Really?
Yes.
That sounds fun. What was it for?
It was like an innovation camp, and so
Okay.
you would come up with ideas throughout the week of a pitch that you would make, but really it was, you never listened to somebody for more than 15 minutes just
Yeah.
talking at you. It was super interactive. You would get to work in groups, and they made sure you did have to have your camera on.
Yeah.
But really it was super interactive, and so they'd ask us questions, and one of the things we talked about was like active listening.
Yeah.
And so they had us do an example of like, how do you respond to this? You like acknowledge what they're saying, you confirm that it's not only their experience, you connected to something broader but not to yourself. And they did an example for us, and then they brought in some student to do an example, and then we broke out and did it ourselves. And it
Yeah.
was super uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
everybody in the class wanted to learn, was excited to be there, and we didn't just learn about the material, like we got to know each other. We had group chats, and it was the most fun I had had
Yeah.
in an online space ever before, and was almost just as good as an in-person camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we did that more for online, I feel like if teachers, and I know teachers have a lot on their
Yeah.
plates, but if we really stress the togetherness of online learning, a lot of times it was just like you're thrown into this, I don't know, like this Zoom meeting, you don't know anyone in there, everyone's cameras are off, and it's just isolated again. I feel like if we did a lot of get to know you activities, and as much as I hate it, like forcing cameras to be on unless you have like a specific reason of like, you know, I can't have my camera on. But for the most part, just enforcing that rule, because when there is that rule of you can choose, people just choose not to because it's
Yeah.
easier. But it's important to get that face-to-face. And I don't know, just having breaks,
Yeah.
especially. Yeah.
We would do like 10-minute breaks where you'd move around.
Yeah.
Or like, I think we did yoga one day. I don't
Oh,
know why.
that sounds fun.
We did like an improv class, like as a break, where we stand up and we do improv over Zoom, and it was super duper
That
cool.
sounds so cool.
Yeah, but like, I think the biggest thing is that, first of all, everybody wanted to be there. That's
Yeah.
like kind of hard to do in a school environment.
Yeah.
But we took time for connection of like the people who led the class. So like in a school scenario, it'd be teachers.
Yeah.
They acknowledged everything that we said. So after we'd like do our opening question of like, what is, like, it was an authentic question that they actually wanted to know the answer to.
Yeah.
They'd respond to it and connect it with somebody else's experience, and really like acknowledge, I don't know, they would just acknowledge your experiences
Yeah.
that you were having
Yeah.
and ask you follow-up questions, and it was just a really cool way to engage. And then at the end, we'd always end our classes in the day with something that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times it was like, I'm grateful for this community. And it was just a positive way to end the day that we don't
Yeah.
necessarily do on a Zoom. It was like,
Yeah, I've never had that.
there's like, it's 45 minutes and oh gosh,
Yeah.
it's the end of the class. So we
Yeah.
gotta hop off, so see you all tomorrow.